When darkness ruled and arrogance defied the gods, a roar shattered the heavens. Half man, half lion, the unstoppable wrath of Vishnu was born. Among the 10 great avatars of Vishnu, none is as ferocious and mysterious as Narasimha, the protector of faith, the destroyer of tyranny, and the embodiment of divine balance. But who was Narasimha? And why did Vishnu, the preserver of the cosmos, take such an extraordinary form, a being that was neither man nor beast? Today, we journey back in time to uncover one of Hinduism's most powerful and profound legends, the tale of Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion who defied darkness itself. Our story begins with the rise of Hiranyakashipu, an Asura king whose ambition was as vast as the heavens he sought to conquer. Long ago, his brother, the formidable Hiranyaksha, was slain by Vishnu's boar incarnation, Varaha, while attempting to drag the earth into the cosmic ocean. Consumed by grief and a burning desire for vengeance, Hiranyakashipu declared war not just on Vishnu, but on all the gods. To achieve this, he knew he needed power beyond mortal comprehension. He retreated to the mountains and began a penance of such severity that the cosmos itself trembled. For years, he stood unwavering, his devotion so intense that it generated a fire that threatened to scorch the heavens. The gods, alarmed by his growing power, pleaded with Lord Brahma, the creator, to intervene. Brahma, pleased by the Asura king's unwavering discipline, appeared before him to grant a boon. Hiranyakashipu, his mind twisted by a desire for absolute power, demanded the one thing Brahma could not give, true immortality. When Brahma explained that all who are born must eventually die, the cunning king devised a new request, weaving a web of conditions so intricate he believed it would make him invincible. He asked that his death could not be brought about by any man or any beast. He demanded that he could not be killed indoors or outdoors, nor during the day or at night. He specified that no weapon, whether handheld or projectile, could harm him. And finally, he declared that his end could not come upon the earth or in the sky. Brahma, bound by his word, granted the boon. With these protections, Hiranyakashipu believed he had outsmarted fate itself. He returned to his kingdom not as a king, but as a self-proclaimed god, demanding that all beings in the 3 worlds worship him and him alone. His reign of terror began, a shadow of fear and oppression falling over the earth. In an age of gods and demons, a king named Hiranyakashipu received a gift so powerful it warped his very soul. He was granted a boon that made him nearly invincible. He could not be ended by man or beast, not inside or outside, not during the day or at night, not on the ground or in the sky, and not by any weapon. This immense power corrupted him completely. He declared himself the one true God, the supreme ruler of all realms. His decree was absolute. Forget the old gods. Worship only me, Hiranyakashipu. Temples were torn down, and prayers to the divine protector, Lord Vishnu, were outlawed. Fear spread like a shadow across the land, and one by one, people bent their knee to the tyrant king. His ego swelled with every new subject, his laughter echoing through the halls of his opulent palace. He believed his reign was unchallengeable, his power eternal. He was the center of his own universe, and everyone, he thought, revolved around him. But defiance can be found in the most unexpected of places. In the heart of the tyrant's own palace, a quiet rebellion was brewing. It came not from a mighty warrior or wise sage, but from the young boy, his own son, Prahlada. While Hiranyakashipu was consumed by arrogance and a lust for power, Prahlada was the very picture of innocence and purity. His heart was a garden of devotion, blooming with love for Lord Vishnu. Every command from his father to renounce Vishnu was met with a gentle but firm refusal. Every threat was answered with a quiet, unwavering faith. For Prahlada, Vishnu was not just a god to be worshipped. He was the very air he breathed, the truth of his existence. While the kingdom trembled in fear of the king, this small boy stood as a beacon of courage, his spirit untouched by the darkness surrounding him. Hiranyakashipu was enraged. How could his own flesh and blood defy him? He saw Prahlada's devotion not as faith, but as a personal betrayal, a direct challenge to his authority. "I am your God," he would roar, his voice shaking the palace walls. "Why do you chant the name of my enemy?" But Prahlada would simply reply, "Father, Lord Vishnu is not your enemy. He is the friend of all beings, including you." This only fueled the king's fury. He subjected his son to a series of cruel tests, each designed to break his spirit and force him to submit. He had Prahlada thrown from the highest cliff, but the boy landed softly as if on a bed of flowers. He cast him into a pit of venomous snakes, but the serpents treated him like a long-lost friend. He even tried to have him trampled by a herd of wild elephants, but the mighty beasts simply bowed their heads and walked around him. With each failed attempt, Hiranyakashipu's desperation grew, while Prahlada's faith only deepened. He continued his prayers, his voice a gentle hum amidst the storm of his father's rage. He chanted Vishnu's name, not out of defiance, but out of pure, unconditional love. He saw the divine presence in everything, in the wind that whispered through the trees, in the river that flowed to the sea, and even in the heart of his angry father. His unwavering devotion was a silent testament to a power far greater than any earthly king's. It was the power of faith, a force that could not be conquered by threats or punished by force. Prahlada's spirit was an unquenchable flame, a light that the tyrant's darkness simply could not extinguish. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of the cosmos. Finally, at his wit's end, Hiranyakashipu devised one last terrible plan. He dragged Prahlada into the main hall of the palace as twilight fell. "You speak of your Vishnu being everywhere." The king bellowed, his eyes wild with fury. "Is he in this pillar?" He pointed to a large stone column in the center of the room. Prahlada, calm as ever, replied, "Yes, father. He is in the pillar, just as he is in the smallest speck of dust." Mad with rage, Hiranyakashipu shattered the pillar with his mace. From the dust and rubble emerged a form unlike any seen before. It was neither man nor beast, but both. A creature with the ferocious head of a lion and the powerful body of a man. This was Narasimha, an avatar of Lord Vishnu. The time was dusk, neither day nor night. The place was the palace doorway, neither inside nor outside. Narasimha lifted the tyrant onto his lap, neither on the ground nor in the sky, and with his sharp claws, not a weapon, he brought the tyrant's reign to an end, perfectly bypassing the boon. The darkness was defeated, and the light of faith, carried by a small boy, was victorious. This is a story about that feeling and the incredible power that can emerge from the deepest faith. It's the story of Prahlada, a young boy whose devotion was an unshakable fortress, and the incredible being who came to his rescue. Prahlada's father was no ordinary man. He was King Hiranyakashipu, a ruler so powerful he believed himself to be a god. He had a boon that made him nearly invincible. He could not be killed by man or beast, indoors or outdoors, during the day or at night, on the ground or in the sky, nor by any weapon. This power corrupted him completely, and he demanded that everyone in his kingdom worship only him. But his own son, Prahlada, refused. Prahlada's heart belonged to Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. This pure, unwavering devotion drove his father into fits of rage. Hiranyakashipu tried everything to break his son's spirit. Threats, punishments, even attempts on his life, but Prahlada's faith only grew stronger. His belief in Vishnu was his shield, and it was impenetrable. The conflict reached its peak one fateful evening as twilight painted the sky in shades of orange and purple. The king, seething with fury, dragged his young son to the grand hall of his palace. "You fool!" he bellowed, his voice echoing off the stone walls. "You keep chanting the name of this Vishnu of yours. You say he is everywhere. If he is so omnipresent, tell me, is he in this pillar?" Hiranyakashipu pointed a trembling, rage-filled finger at a massive, ornate pillar that stood in the center of the hall. He was mocking his son, trying to prove the absurdity of his faith. He expected fear. He expected tears. But what he got was a serene smile. Prahlada looked at his father, his eyes filled not with fear, but with a profound and gentle certainty. Yes, father, he replied softly. He is everywhere. He is in the smallest dust mote and the largest mountain. He is within you, and he is within me. And yes, he is even in this pillar. That calm reply was the final spark that ignited the king's inferno of rage. It was a defiance he could not tolerate. Lies, all lies! Hiranyakashipu roared. With all his might, he swung his heavy mace and struck the stone pillar. The sound of the impact was deafening, but it was immediately swallowed by another sound, a sound that was not of this world. The pillar began to crack, not like stone breaking, but like a shell hatching. An unearthly, rumbling growl emanated from within, vibrating through the floor, shaking the very foundations of the palace. The king stumbled back, his arrogance momentarily replaced by a flicker of shock. A blinding golden light erupted from the fractured pillar, forcing everyone to shield their eyes. And as the light subsided, a figure emerged, stepping out of the shattered stone. It was a form beyond all comprehension. It was neither man nor beast, yet it was both. It had the powerful, muscular torso of a man, but the ferocious head and sharp claws of a lion. Its eyes blazed like twin suns, and its roar was the sound of cosmic justice. This was Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion incarnation of Vishnu, who had come to answer Prahlada's call. Narasimha embodied the perfect counter to Hiranyakashipu's boon. He was neither fully man nor fully beast. The time was twilight, neither day nor night. He seized the evil king and dragged him to the threshold of the palace doorway, which was neither indoors nor outdoors. Placing him on his lap, which was neither the ground nor the sky, Narasimha used his sharp claws, which were not conventional weapons, to finally end the tyrant's reign of terror. Darkness was defeated, not by a conventional army, but by the power of unwavering faith and the divine force that protects it. This story teaches us that no matter how powerful evil may seem, and no matter how impossible the odds, true devotion has a power all its own. This is the story of Hiranyakashipu, a demon king who secured a boon that made him nearly invincible. He couldn't be killed by man or beast, not during the day or at night, not inside or outside, not on the ground or in the sky, and not by any weapon. Drunk on this power, he plunged the world into darkness, declaring himself the only God worthy of worship. He was ruthless, and his tyranny knew no bounds. He demanded absolute obedience, and anyone who dared to defy him faced his wrath. The heavens trembled, and the earth groaned under his oppressive rule. People lived in constant fear, their prayers silenced, their hopes extinguished. It seemed like evil had finally won, and there was no one left to challenge the demon king's reign. But there was one small, unwavering flame of defiance in the heart of this darkness. The king's own son, Prahlada. Despite his father's threats and torturous punishments, Prahlada remained a devoted follower of Lord Vishnu. He saw the divine in everything and refused to accept his father as the supreme being. For Hiranyakashipu, this was the ultimate betrayal. He couldn't understand it. He had conquered the world, commanded armies, and made gods tremble. Yet he couldn't command the loyalty of his own child. He tried everything to break Prahlada's spirit, throwing him from cliffs, into fires and into pits of snakes, but each time Prahlada emerged unharmed, protected by his unshakable faith. This only fueled the king's rage, pushing him to the brink of madness. He was determined to destroy the god his son worshipped and prove his own supremacy once and for all. One evening, in a final, furious confrontation, Hiranyakashipu screamed at his son, "If your Vishnu is everywhere, is he in this pillar?" Pointing to a stone column in his court, he bellowed, "Then let him show himself." With a mighty roar, he smashed his mace against the pillar, intending to shatter it and Prahlada's faith along with it. But from the splintering stone, a sound emerged that chilled the demon king to his core, a terrifying, earth-shattering roar. The pillar cracked open, and from within stepped a being of unimaginable power and fury, a form the world had never seen before. It was neither man nor beast, but both. It was Narasimha, the fourth avatar of Vishnu, with the torso of a man and the head and claws of a ferocious lion. His eyes burned like twin suns, and his roar was the sound of justice personified. The demon king, for the first time in his life, felt a sliver of fear. The moment of reckoning had arrived. Every condition of Hiranyakashipu's boon was about to be met with divine ingenuity. Narasimha, this half-man, half-lion, was neither man nor beast. He seized the demon king, his grip like iron, and dragged him to the threshold of the palace courtyard. This spot was neither inside nor outside. The sun was setting, casting long, eerie shadows. It was twilight, a time that was neither day nor night. Narasimha then did the unthinkable. He placed the struggling, terrified tyrant upon his lap, lifting him off the ground. This was a space that was neither earth nor sky. The demon king's invincibility was unraveling, loop by cosmic loop. Every safeguard he had so cleverly designed was being systematically dismantled before his very eyes. The ultimate checkmate was in play. With a final, thunderous roar that echoed through the cosmos, Narasimha fulfilled his purpose. He didn't use a man-made weapon or a celestial discus. Instead, he used the weapons he was born with, his razor-sharp lion claws. He tore into the demon king's chest, ending the reign of terror and fulfilling the prophecy. Evil was vanquished, not by brute force alone, but by cosmic law and divine cleverness. The story of Narasimha is a powerful reminder that no matter how cleverly darkness fortifies itself, light will always find a way to break through. It teaches us that faith can move mountains, and that righteousness will ultimately prevail, even against the most impossible odds. Today, we journey into the heart of an ancient legend, the story of Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion who defied the darkest of tyrants. Our story begins with a king named Hiranyakashipu. Through years of intense penance, he earned a boon from the creator god Brahma. He asked for immortality, but since that couldn't be granted, he crafted a wish so clever he thought he'd outsmarted death itself. He wished that he could not be killed by any man or beast, neither during the day nor at night. He could not be killed inside a building or outside, not on the ground nor in the sky. Finally, he could not be slain by any weapon, living or non-living. Believing himself invincible, Hiranyakashipu declared himself the one true god and demanded absolute worship from everyone in his kingdom. His reign was one of terror, where anyone who dared to worship the gods was punished. But irony has a way of showing up in the most unexpected places. While Hiranyakashipu ruled with an iron fist, his own son Prahlada was born with an unshakable devotion to the god Vishnu. From a young age, Prahlada's heart was filled with faith, and he refused to see his father as the supreme being. This enraged Hiranyakashipu. He couldn't understand how his own child could defy him. He tried everything to change Prahlada's mind. He threatened him, had his teachers try to brainwash him, but the boy's faith was like a mountain, immovable and strong. Frustrated and furious, Hiranyakashipu decided that if he couldn't convert his son, he would eliminate him. He subjected Prahlada to a series of horrific trials. He had him thrown off a cliff, trampled by elephants, and cast into a pit of venomous snakes. But each time, Prahlada chanted Vishnu's name, and miraculously, he remained unharmed. The king's rage grew with each failed attempt, culminating in a final, desperate act. He ordered his sister Halika, who had a special shawl that protected her from fire, to sit in a blazing pyre with Prahlada on her lap. But as the flames rose, a divine wind blew the shawl from Halika and wrapped it around Prahlada, leaving him untouched while she was consumed by the fire. This event, by the way, is the origin of the festival of Holi, a celebration of good triumphing over evil. After this final failure, Hiranyakashipu's fury reached its peak. He dragged Prahlada into the royal court and, pointing to a pillar, roared, "You say your God is everywhere. Is he in this pillar?" Prahlada, with his unwavering faith, calmly replied, "Yes, Father, he is." Blinded by rage, the king smashed the pillar with his mace. And in that moment, the impossible happened. The pillar cracked open with a deafening roar, and from within emerged a being unlike anything the world had ever seen. It was neither man nor beast, but both. It had the torso of a man and the head and claws of a ferocious lion. This was Narasimha, the fourth avatar of Vishnu. Narasimha seized the stunned king. He looked at the sky. It was twilight, neither day nor night. He dragged Hiranyakashipu to the threshold of the palace doorway, which was neither inside nor outside. He placed the king on his lap, which was neither on the ground nor in the sky. And then, using his sharp claws, which were not weapons, he brought an end to the tyrant's reign. Every condition of the boon was met, and yet justice was served. So, what is the meaning behind this incredible story? Narasimha represents divine justice, the powerful truth that no amount of arrogance or evil can escape the balance of the cosmos. His unique form, half man and half lion, is a profound reminder that the divine cannot be contained by our limited logic or physical forms. It can manifest in any way necessary to restore righteousness. And Prahlada's story is a testament to the power of faith. His devotion, even in the face of unimaginable darkness, acted as a shield, proving that true faith brings protection and light. Every time arrogance and darkness threaten to overwhelm the world, the legend of Narasimha reminds us that a higher justice is always watching. His roar echoes through eternity, a timeless promise that good will always prevail. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the world's greatest legends. See you next time.